Huh?
Now that the camera's filming.
Oh, that's not going to work. I got to do it this way for the lighting.
If you look at the inspection sticker...
All right, we're jumping right into this, right to the inspection sticker.
Oh, okay. Looks like this was manufactured sometime around March 8th, 1989.
So it could have been sold in the summer of '89 then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is the Samsung
Smash Snug.
HD-2510A with R12 gas.
And quite a bit of it, 10 ounces.
It's rated at 25 pints by the old standard, made in Korea. Only 6 amps, so it's relatively efficient for the time.
For the viewers,
and it's caked with dust.
For the viewers, when I was a child, this was what my parents had in the basement. I remember it very distinctly. We had it from, I guess, the time I was born. I don't want to say when that was, until 1998 when it was replaced with a DeLonghi. Kind of like the one at that new old stock location. Except it was gray, not white.
And the other piece of interesting information about this is that we came across one of these visiting a string of thrift stores. The first one was cost $60, and I didn't get it because that was too expensive, but I really liked the front panel. And so later on in the day, as we're going to these different thrift stores, we come across this one for $20.99, and then it was also 25% off, so we ended up getting this for about $15, which is quite the
steal.
Quite the occurrence.
Yeah, imagine seeing two of these in the same day. I've never seen another one since I was a kid, since we got rid of or canceled out the one that we had.
Right, and then he's not only seeing two, but to find it, cheaper.
And the same day. Wow, that was close. And seeing the same. Now it stays. I remember ours used to ice up pretty easily, though.
You think it was low, or is that just a property of toys?
No, it was the whole thing. The older ones seem to do that for some reason.
I tend to agree with that.
Which is a shame, because they're actually much better quality than what you can get now.
The letter H, I gave him one with R500, and he claims it never iced up. And his area can go down into like very high 60s, mid 70s for the most part. So we're testing 121.5 the volts. We are outside, so we're using a pretty long cord, but it's a
10 gauge,
10 or 12 gauge cord, so it shouldn't do too much voltage drop.
Jeez, I can't get over what we had to do to get this bearing off.
Do you recall if the front cover comes? Oh, it's got 2 screws.
It does, but some disassembly is required. Smash Snug. Made in Korea. And Korea made great stuff in the 80s, like really, really high quality.
Well, hopefully this is no exception. It does have some sheetrock dust in the bottom, so that's a little concerning. Maybe, does the dial have to come off, or is that part of the
I
front?
don't know. I haven't seen the inside of one of these in 25 years.
We'll go back to that memory and see if you can
actually probably
collect
more
some
like
information.
28 years. Possibly 30. I don't know.
There's probably some kind of clip or something up here that will release with a secret handshake. We just don't know what that is.
Maybe some coil cleaner will release it.
I really think that Russ uses too much coil cleaner.
You don't say.
Okay, so that is definitely part of the front. So we're battling an apparatus, at least a temperature or thermostat apparatus being attached. There we go. Okay, so we have a Sung Shin fan motor, which is 1 amp, 1450 RPM, also made in Korea. So it likely is good quality as well.
Oh wow, the
it's
bearings.
Surprisingly still very free.
Those might be ball bearings.
No, that's definitely sleeve, but it is surprisingly free.
Wow.
That's unusual. That typically is the failure point in these things, is the fan motor will lock up.
And that might have been what happened in ours. I don't remember. This was, this got canceled out almost, 28 years ago. So.
And I say failure point loosely because that's really not a failure point of the equipment. That's a lack of maintenance issue. And the compressor, I would assume it's a Samsung compressor, no?
It is.
Yep.
44. What?
44.
4.4 full load amps, 26.5 lock rotor amps. So this is probably a shaded pole motor.
Definitely.
1 amp. Yeah, that's a lot.
I don't see any kind of capacitor in here.
This is interesting. I mean, they went through a lot of effort to protect the cap tube.
And this needs to be just a
must
little
be
bit
the-
more. You can see there's been evidence that it's stripped down there, but
They did the best they could, though.
there's
Was that a frost sensor?
yeah, frost sensor on there, so it's got automatic defrost most likely,
Interesting.
which is good to have. Yeah, seems like it's very well made inside. This is nicely tied together. It's got the rubber protector where it might potentially go up against that. Yeah, it seems very good quality.
I love how we're reaching in this while it's, live.
Well, what else would you do?
At least it's grounded.
Yeah, it's fine. And if you notice, there's a clip on one of these blades.
Oh, probably to balance it.
I don't know why you put it on that particular part, but that definitely looks like a balancing clip up there. So very interesting. Seems like a good equipment. And we'll turn it on momentarily as soon as I get these screws back in here. You hear music?
That's a wind chime.
Okay, here we go.
That sounds nice.
It's moderate noise level. Quieter than so.
I was telling Jordan off camera when he procured this yesterday. I remember this. The viewers, this is not going to come as any sort of surprise. Anybody who knows me, it had a pretty cool refrigerant sound.
Yep, I can already hear it. This is very dusty.
Yeah,
I would suspect that this should have had a filter based on the way this is designed, but there isn't one present.
It did, and there was a rubber band that went across it that held it in place. It was kind of a dumb design. Yeah, I already hear the gas. That sounds cool.
You would like that Whirlpool 14 can in the garage. It's got a nice gas sound on low.
So does that 6K Kenmore.
Yeah, both of them. More economy stuff people complain about, but actually is excellent quality.
That's the only thing I don't like about it is the fan blade in there on that Whirlpool or Kenmore.
The 6K is not correct.
No, that Whirlpool has grown on me significantly. I didn't like it initially because of aesthetics, but that's a fantastic product.
Yeah. I don't particularly like the aesthetics either, which is why it lives in the garage, but performance-wise, you can't argue with it.
It's an excellent performer.
Oh, I can see it's already sweating considerably on the outside rungs. It's about 75 degrees today, around 50-something% humidity. Really quite beautiful conditions. But it should definitely be warm enough for this to not ice up, I would think.
I would agree with that. I don't think it got above 70 degrees in the basement all that often, and when it was warm enough, it didn't ice up. But it had a really crummy bucket switch design.
That's the same design that Whirlpool used a lot, and it did stink.
I remember there was one time where it got into this like endless oscillation where it kept going on and off and on and off like 3 or 4 times a second, and like the lights in the house were just going nuts because the compressor was locked rotor.
I've observed some of these shut off when the bucket starts to fill up, and a lot of them do that. That's one of the problems with it.
And then what would happen is the compressor shaking would shake the water just enough that it would start back up again.
Well, that's what happens when it fills up and it pushes the switch in, it shuts off, but since it's a reciprocating compressor, it's going to get that shake to it, and that's enough to pull the switch back in and then it turns on again. So, unfortunately, that is a terrible design aspect of these, but otherwise they're excellent. Now granted, the buckets on these are so big, if you empty it every day, it's probably never going to fill up anyways. Alright, well I think we're going to let it run, we're going to go do something else, and then we'll come back. It sounds really nice. I think this is quieter than average. Some of these things are really quite loud.
Yeah, the DeLonghi that replaced it was loud. I did not like that unit at all. I think that got canceled out because the plug was getting hot on it.
Dumb molded plugs. The fan is a very good balance.
Wow. The fan's probably in perfect balance. I think any vibrations coming from the compressor.
Yeah.
And I really like this grill.
I do too. I would have to agree that this is very good quality.
This was Samsung's heyday, in my opinion. It was the late 80s, early 90s. And the guts of this might be identical to that Fetters one. Although that's an LG, a Gold Star, isn't it? It's already dripping? Yeah, look at that.
It was on for what, 2 or 3 minutes?
Look at the camera.
Well, we didn't turn it on immediately when I started recording. Yep, there it goes. It's working properly.
That'll fit. Let's drip on the table.
I want to see how much it drips. Pretty efficient too. It's only pulling 4.48 the amps, 414 the watts, with a power factor of 0.78, which is about as high of a power factor as you're going to get at a shaded pole equipment.
What's the power factor?
0.78, which for non-PSC, that's about as good as I've ever seen. Alright, well this works great. It sounds nice, it looks nice. I'll push the, I'll turn it off so we can hear the gas, and then we'll check the indicator light on the bucket full switch.
Music to my ears.
I can't tell if it's a neon or not. It might be.
It is. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yep, it is neon, and it's working.